Most B2B SaaS founders and agency owners think their problem is traffic, ads, or sales, but when in reality, it is their offer. Recently, I helped restructure the offer at TechnologyMatch.com, and that change alone turned 15K in ad spend into 95K in cash collected. In this video, I'm going to break down the exact framework I use to build high-converting, high-ticket offers, and why most offers fail before ads or funnels even matter. If your service is good, but you're still getting price objections, stall deals, or let's wait responses, this will show you what's actually broken. One of the key things I've learned from working with over 50 B2B SaaS and agencies is when an offer fails, it's never just one thing, it's always one of 3 specific misalignments. And once you know which one is broken, the fix becomes very obvious. So let me break down the framework. The symptoms that you see of an offer not selling is the market will tell you it is too expensive, and they will also tell you, let's wait until the next quarter. Have you heard those? What this signals here is there's a mismatch to what you sell and what the market wants. Let me make sure you see. Because you're selling a service, right? But then the market is really buying outcomes. And there is a gap between what you sell and what they buy. And this gap results in price objections. The more price objections you hear and the stronger they are, the stronger the signal the market gives you that you basically need to restructure your offer. Because you might think, I just need better salespeople. And yes, they might, convince a few more people like a stronger salesperson. But the bigger lever here is to restructure your offering. Because then even a weak salesperson will be able to sell. And then you combine a strong offer with a strong salesperson, and then, magic happens. So how do you do that? Well, here are the 3 alignments when it comes to offers. Usually, as I told you in the intro, there are 3 misalignments that you can always track whenever an offer is not working. So the first one is the outcome versus service, right? Outcome service. The client really buys the outcome, but since you are doing the service and you're thinking, I need to market around the service, nobody's buying the service though. If I pay for a trip, I really am interested in getting to the final destination. I might be slightly interested, I just want a comfortable ride, but ultimately I care about getting to the final destination. How you do it, it's kind of up to you. I'm buying, at the end of the day, the final destination. Me getting there. And so therefore, if the market is buying consistently the outcomes, you need to market around here. Your offers should be focused on the outcome and not on the service. This is actually key. A lot of people just struggle with this. So ask yourself, what does your service achieve for clients? What is the outcome? Speaking of outcomes, the next thing is the unique mechanism. So this one is interesting because let's say the client pays you here at time 0, and then they get the result here at time 1. But your service requires, so let me redraw it. So this is the client, right? Come on. So this is the client and their patience. This is their patience at time 0 and at time 1. They pay you here and they get a result here. This is their patience. But your service, in order for them to get the result you've promised them, requires, requires slightly more time. And so what happens is you start delivering, right? You start delivering, and then here here you have a problem because the client has run out of patience and they cannot continue paying you to get to here. And before a client buys, like they're doing exactly this math. They're thinking, okay, if you're selling, say, SEO services, and you're like 5K a month, or maybe you're selling a setup offer for your B2B SaaS, and maybe the tool like takes too much time to integrate inside their systems in order for them to see the first value and all of those things. And the client is like, let's say, whatever your service is, it costs 5K. And you're saying, yeah, like you will see first value within 6 months. And then the client is doing the math. Okay, so 6 months times 5K, so 30K. You want me to pay 30K, and maybe at the end of the 6th month, I'm getting a result. So you see how that doesn't make sense. But then you need, say, the 6 months. So you need to get to here in order for the client to see the result. So what do you do? So I'm not saying your service doesn't work. I'm saying your offer needs reworking, because inside your service, you will, and that's true for every service, you will naturally hit certain milestones. And so whenever you create offers, it should be really around those milestones, because the milestones, well, first of all, you're not changing anything about your service, because you will still go through these milestones as you progress through your service, right? You will still do that. But then your first offer should really be about achieving the first milestone. Let the client see the benefit of them working with you. So the first offer is here. Now they have achieved something. They haven't run out of patience as well. And now you extend this runway. And so they're willing to wait more. And now what you can do is upsell them on the next thing. And this is where the ticket gets higher, right? You start asking for more money, slightly more. The client agrees to pay you because you've built initial trust. You get them to here, right, to this stage. And now the client is like, okay, I already trust this person. Now you can ask for more money. You can do this jump, or you can also try to do this jump, depending on what the offer is. In both cases, what happens is the lifetime value of the client just increases. You're not losing the client. You continually make money with them, because it's like relatively costly to acquire clients in the first place, right? So that is how you should be thinking about creating the offer. Like, what is your unique mechanism to get them from 0 to 1 in the first place? You don't want to get them to 0 to 4 right out of the gate. This is what most there you go. So you don't want to get them from 0 to 1, 2, 3, 4. This is just what most founders are trying to do. They're trying to sell this whole thing here, right? And it just doesn't work. It might work like once or twice a year. It's just inconsistent. It's crazy loss of money, which is probably why you're watching this video in the first place. So you need to have a unique mechanism to get them to X. You shouldn't... Oh no, wait, like I'm jumping ahead. So yeah, you need to have like a unique mechanism to get them to X. Just take that away. In terms of unique mechanisms, the third misalignment is simply the positioning. So I have a picture here of like a bag of potatoes at a grocery store and potatoes at a fancy restaurant. Same ingredient, right? It's just one is like found everywhere. Everybody can buy it. And as a result, you're really compared on price, because I'm not paying for the more expensive potatoes because it's like the same thing. Same thing with water. Why should I pay for like the 10 cents more for the same water, right? It's kind of those things. And then compare that to the same ingredient, but you get them in this like fancy shape, right? And you're like, okay, so the shape itself suggests there's a methodology behind this. I cannot like just do it. Like I probably need to learn this, and it takes time and skill and all of those things. So all of this signals a unique mechanism here. And because of like you go to a certain venue and it looks a certain way, it's also signals it's not for everybody. And because it's not for everybody, it also attracts wealth, attracts wealthy people, people who are ready to solve a problem with money. And they see you as the vehicle to solve the problem. And so this is the difference between competing in the market and then dominating the market. So how do we audit offers? Well, the process is relatively simple, really. Well, I shouldn't say simple, I should say it's straightforward. It's not always easy, but you should definitely do it either way. You take 20 sales qualified calls. So like qualified, it's very important. We don't care about the non-qualified calls. If you don't have 20, even like 5 will do. I've done it with 5 as well. It works. So you take 10 of the qualified calls that closed and 10 that didn't. With the ones that closed, you start asking yourself, what is the transformation that the client bought? Because I guarantee you, even if you didn't try to sell a transformation, they still saw something inside your product that will allow them to achieve a certain transformation. Question is, what is that transformation looking like for them? That's what you're looking for. With the 10 sales calls that didn't close, you are asking which of the 3 misalignments, the 3 alignments broke down. So the 3 alignments that we discussed right here. So outcome versus service, unique mechanism, and positioning. Those are the 3 misalignments. You're asking yourself, which of these 3 broke down? And then you will naturally find a gap. And so it's like, okay, the calls that closed, clients bought, the clients bought a certain transformation, and then some of my calls broke down because they were missing like these things. And now you have the transformation and you have like the key ingredients, so you kind of package them together and boom, you have an offer. The usual findings that we see are with agencies and B2B SaaS. So for agencies, usually the misalignment is on the business model, because an agency would always try to sell you a retainer, but then a client would not necessarily want to buy a retainer. They want to test it first, see how it goes. Once you have some trust, then they're like, okay, cool. Makes sense to go on a retainer. Now it becomes cheaper for me. Let's go. With B2B SaaS, the misalignment really is on the transformation. And that really comes from a lot of SaaS companies are built by technical founders. And so naturally, if you're this person, you would want to build features that solve real problems, but then you also present them as features. And then instead of outcomes. And as we know, people like to buy outcomes, not features. Some people here are marketing the benefits for SaaS companies, but then the benefit is, okay, like if you're selling a mattress, a sleeping mattress, you buy, they would market it as it will transform your life. And you're like, what? I mean, it's a bit far-fetched. And it's so far-fetched, it's actually unbelievable, right? Whereas, think about it. What is the outcome? Like, if you want to buy a mattress, why would you do it? Personally, if I want to buy a new mattress, it would be simply because I would want my back pains to be healed. It's actually true. Like, I got a new mattress, my back was healed. Perfect. And as a result, I sleep better, which is another outcome. Cool. And then the benefits, okay, because I sleep better, I'm well rested, I can think clearer, I can focus more because I can do all those things. I'm also more productive at work. As a result, I make the company more money. As a result, the company recognizes that and I start earning more money. And when I do that, my life is transformed. Do you see how far-fetched that is? So a lot of SaaS companies do exactly what I walked you through. Focus on the outcomes. Like in marketing, there's this pendulum that always swings. Like when everybody and their mother are doing one thing, you want to do the opposite. Currently, everybody is selling benefits, and they're selling these far-fetched benefits, and very few people understand they need to sell outcomes. And there's this pendulum, right, that just swings. Currently, the pendulum is here, meaning you have to focus on the outcome. Apologies for my face blocking all of this. So you have to focus on the outcome. And then as time goes and more people realize, okay, I should be focusing on outcome, the pendulum will be here. And so therefore, naturally, you would have to focus on the benefits. So like, you always should be aware like what everybody else is doing and just do the opposite. Honestly, that's pretty much the gist of marketing. So back to agencies and SaaS and useful findings. Usually what ends up happening is because it's kind of hard to do all of those things, right? 20 calls, analyze, then it's like all of the analysis paralysis, and then how do you, the know-how and all of that jazz. What companies end up doing is they would go to a competitor, they would see what they're offering, and they'd be like, yeah, I'm just going to offer the same thing, maybe improve it slightly, but I'm going to ultimately offer the same thing. And then everybody does this. And what happens is, you commoditize yourself willingly. Like you essentially become a bag of potatoes versus the fancy thing here. And you really want to move to here. Like it's really nice. So why this matters is you really need to identify what's broken inside your offer. Like you just do this, the 20 sales qualified calls. Then it tells you, okay, so once you've identified, okay, all of the pieces that are broken, you kind of, you straighten them, you put them inside an offer, and the fix becomes really easy at that point. But that happens only if you listen to the market. Like if you try to skip that, you will always be a bag of potatoes. So don't be the fancy dish. Do it for yourself, really. Your future you will thank yourself. So that's the framework. 3 alignments: transformation, delivery model, and positioning. Get those right and your offer sells itself. Get them wrong and you are stuck competing on price, no matter how good your service is. Now you have 2 paths forward. Path 1 is you can take everything I've shown you in this video, pull your sales calls, and audit your offer yourself. Figure out which alignment is broken and fix it. You have the framework now. Path 2 is you can apply to work with us. We'll do the audit for you, identify exactly which alignments are killing your conversions, and show you the fix that matter. Then we'll build out the full offer funnel in just 2 weeks. Either way, the first step is the same. You have to listen to your market. Don't guess, don't lower your price. Listen to what they're actually telling you. If you want us to handle it, hit the first link in the description. If you're going to do it yourself, start with your sales calls today. I will see you in the next one.